combining the things that we just learned, let's create a neon sign. So here is the cube. We're just going to delete this cube. X delete. We're now going to do Shift A, and we're going to add a curve. We're going to add a path. Now we're also going to add some text. So Shift A, and we're going to go to text. So let me go right here. And what I want to be is bird's eye view. So that's top view. So I'm going to click Z. So now I'm bird's eye view. Let me scroll in. And to make a good neon sign, what we're going to do is we're going to have the curve follow the text. So I'm going to click on the path. Okay, click and make sure when you do Shift A, excuse me, it's curve and it's path. It's this one right here. So I'm going to go to edit mode. So I have the path selected. I'm going to click tab to go into edit mode. I'm going to S, scale it down a little bit, G to move it. And for each one of these letters, I'm going to have its own thing. So we're in edit mode. And when I say edit mode is we can select the vertices of the path and move it around. It can move. And how I'm doing that is clicking G. So I'm clicking G. So to select everything, you're going to you can either do A, or by selecting one of the vertices, you can click L. So what L does is everything that's connected, it's going to select. So now I'm going to copy and paste it. So I'm going to Shift D, drag it to the E, Shift D, drag it to the X, Shift D, drag it to the T. I'm going to click on tab again. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a neon sign that says text. But let's say you want to do your name. Well, since this is a text and this is kind of just a template for the neon sign, we can go into edit mode. So click tab and we can just type in whatever we want. But for me, I'm just doing a neon sign that says text. So I'm going to go back to edit mode. And let's go ahead and start modeling this. So I'm going to do G here, G, 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 G. And the way that the neon signs work is there's a start tube and then an end tube, but it's a one entire tube per character. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click E, E. So think of like I'm bending this tube in real life. There we go. So that's a pretty good T, but notice, right, I have the start tube and the end tube. So let me go here. Let's do the same exact thing. Let's do Control L. Go here. G, G, E, 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 E. Let's go here. Let's do E, 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 E. Again, we have the start and end. Go here. G, 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 G. Now this one's a little tricky. We're going to do E, E, E. Let's do G, E, E. That's pretty good. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do E. So you see how I don't have any overlaps? Looks pretty good. Control, rotate, G, 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 E, go here, go up here, E. It looks pretty decent. You can spend an infinite amount of time in order to make this look as good as you want. So I'm going to do Shift B, just kind of zoom in all of this here. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to select all the start and ends of these characters. So remember for the here we have the start pipe, the end pipe, and I'm holding down Shift while I'm selecting the vertices. So here, here, and here. Okay. Now I'm going to go to the side view, so I can just click on -Y. I'm going to do E, left click, and now I'm going to do G, GZ, and I'm just going to have it go down. So let's just do it here. Now E, click GZ, go down again. Let's scroll out of that. And that looks pretty decent. So I'm going to exit out of edit mode. I'm going to click tab, click on the text, X delete. And we can already see this is starting to have that neon sign type feel. And the reason why is because we're following the actual rules of making a neon sign, right? It's a tube that you're bending in order to have that same shape. So I'm going to click on the text. Now over here to the right, we have the green icon. That's a curve. We're going to click on that. Okay. And what we want is we want to go to geometry. We want bevel. Oops, sorry, bevel. And I believe it's depth. Yep, it's depth. And when we want to increase the depth. So by having it on 0, it's not going to render. But by having it above 0, so let's say 0.1. Now let's do 0.01. That looks good. So my depth is 0.01. Yours might be different to what looks good for you. But you can see that this is really starting to take shape. So we have our text. Well, let's actually make it look like a neon sign. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in here to the materials. I'm going to click on new. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this glow. So I'm going to click here, call it glow. And I'm going to change it from principal BDSF to emission. So I'm going to click here, go to emission, and change the strength to 5. And let's have the color as like a blue. I think that looks pretty good. What we're going to do next is we're going to go to the render properties, click bloom, and let's go into render to see what this looks like. Yeah, that looks pretty good. All right. So the next step is to go into world here, and we're going to change the strength to be 0. And that looks pretty good. I mean, that actually looks like a neon sign. Now, this is what I consider to be like our first main project. So let's go ahead and save this. And we're going to save it into a safe location. So whatever you think is safe on your computer that you can always find later. You want to have a good file system. So I'm going to click save. I'm going to navigate to where I want to save this to. Okay, so I found a nice place. I'm going to call it neon sign. And I'm just going to click save blend file.